So again, just shortening and lengthening. And bring it all the way out. And so what you can think about, and if you even look through here, again, there's this rotation of the hip happening, right? So she brings it in, go ahead. You see that rotation. And then as she brings it out, rotation. And so you can really start, and just bring it all the way down, good. So if you start to think about your body as moving parts that are rotating always, right? These internal, external rotators, flexion and extension is pretty much always a rotation of a joint structure. And what that does is it allows you to move forward and backward, side to side. But the reality of the movements themselves are not quite so angular or boxy or linear. The global motion is, for sure, but not the action. Okay, and bring your knee up all the way. And you're just gonna engage my hand there and bring it down, relax. Good job. So we're gonna give it a little bit of a break. Again, the psoas is really a very potent, and I would use the word sacred in a lot of ways. We need to be very careful and attentive to what's happening there. So now I'm just taking her obliques, and since all that viscera is kind of sloughed onto the side, I can really start to just engage it. And all I'm doing is giving it a little bit of cross fiber friction here. You can really start to see a little overactivity just as the obliques meet that abdominis erectus. I'm just kind of moving it around. Yeah, good. So I like to integrate the lats. Again, remember the lats attach the shoulder to the sacrum. So if you just thread this arm out of your, there we go, and up over your head. So now we're putting the lat, if you come around here, so we're putting the lat into an extension. So I'm just gonna draw it out for you, here, through here, and then up there, right? And so again, we remember that she was kind of collapsing down on this side. So I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a pull. As I do that, I'm gonna stabilize the hip again and move this up through the whole system. And again, we're just looking at movement patterns. The body is really this full circuit. You can't address one thing as though it lives in a vacuum. It's just not the reality of our systems. It's easy to perceive that in our lives, right? This is my hand, this is my foot. They're not the same thing. However, if I'm constantly doing things with small, what I like to call dysfunctional recruitment patterns, eventually what's happening, say, in my ankle will travel through my whole biotensegral systems and begin to affect maybe the nerves that then affect my hands. And we can go over a lot of the anatomy and theory around that in some other videos. We'll just geek out. Massage. Right? So she's definitely tight here, really through the serratus anterior, the teres. It's not, so she's broken several ribs from her cough actually, and so we're seeing maybe some of the fibrotic scar tissue in here. So again, that will affect how the rest of the system moves. As I press here, you can see this, remember this cross-body movement that we were talking about before? You can begin to see that. As I just engage here, you can see that whole pull that way. Good. And so if there is a shortening in this system, then it would follow that the line of this would be dysfunctional. All right, so I'm just gonna come in, engage the TFL, and keep doing this, okay? Much, much better than it was. I'm really quite happy. Okay, let's have you, well, so I wanna test out one more time for you because I wanna see, particularly because she's feeling a lot of this on the left side, I wanna see how releasing the right side is doing, because if this kind of lingers for some time, as she comes back to me, I want to be able to address this. So if I do both sides, I have a lot less information about what's happening in her body. But if I address this one side, I ask for her proprioception, essentially her, like what she's feeling in her body has changed, then I have a better roadmap, not just for the rest of this session. Ooh, I know, girl, I know. But also for the next sessions to come, if this is something that we're addressing long term. Okay, good job. Just relax for me, don't help. Good, okay. So again, move around, get up, see what's going on, and then other side fetal position, all right? And then give me all that information.